Okay, so I don't know how long it's going to take me to make this statement, but I hope that you guys will listen in totality. So sometimes you have to experience something yourself to understand what it feels like and your role in perpetuating the problem. So, as someone who's just been fully immersed in the internet, I am constantly discovering new problematic behaviors that I have been carrying forth. One that I am now really feeling the brunt of is looking at everything and everyone as content, forgetting about how easily things can be misconstrued, forgetting about how people can misrepresent themselves in a moment, and ultimately, losing and connection and dealing with that. And what this digital space does is it chips away at your connection to not only your humanity, but others' humanity. So we've really lost our way. And we're so ruled by this space that has given us these platforms to simply just like say what we want to say and not have to face in-person repercussions. We can block people, we can clap back, etc. We've become, I feel, so caught up in the constant rhythm of that. And I know I have. And I believe that it's caused us to really lose sight of even our role as media, which I believe is to be valuable and to create work of merit for the people. And these last few weeks, I've really felt the brunt of this in a way that I've never experienced before. And it's a shame, particularly because I've experienced this from those who share space with me here at a Black-owned company. That we don't even have enough regard for each other as teammates to hold space for each other. So like when I began to have a platform, right? One promise I made to myself was that I would never speak of someone on the internet that I speak to in real life. And I've always protected and respected that because I care for my relationships more than I care about clicks or checks or politics, to be honest, because none of those things have ever cared about me. Like Mark Zuckerberg's internet never cared about me. Capitalism never cared about me. And, sure as hell, this slave owning forefathers America has never cared about me. So that has always been something that mattered to me. Like, of course, everybody wants to be useful. Nobody wants to be used. So when I look at people like D.L. Hughley, like Ricky Smiley, people like Yvette Nicole Brown, like Jason Lee, etc., and I see them so casually mention my name in a demeaning context that discredits me, I say to myself, they must not see me as a human. Wow. They're just seeing my commentary. Like these are people who have actually met me, who have my phone number, who in some cases have been to my home, people who I have praised, I've paid reverence to, who I've sought guidance from, who I've heralded outside of their presence. They are able to access me for clarity and invite me into their space to say, hey, like, can you speak to this more? And instead of doing so, they've chosen to simply use me. And I believe it's because they've disconnected from their humanity. And there are so many cases where one can say, like, clearly this person is emotional right now, so let's not judge them. Let's give them an opportunity to clarify once they've calmed down, right? That's something that they have chosen not to do. And that's being human, is to do that. And I know that there have been so many times where I have been guilty of the same and failed to be that for other people. And unfortunately, it has taken me not being treated that way with that type of simple, like basic human regard to see just how harmful it is to continue this practice, even though it's really become the norm. But I ain't never been the norm. And I do not want to be this kind of normal. I don't want to be like Ricky Smiley and Yvette Nicole Brown and D.L. Hughley and Jason Lee and the rest of you people who see this as a valid way of interacting with individuals. Particularly those who, even on a basic level, consistently come forth with positive motives, even if their methods may seem unclear. So I wanted to make this statement because I want that from this day forward, I want this show and I want me to be regarded and held to the standard of being a space where we actually do journalism that asks for clarity, that gives people space to explain before judgment. Not just because it's responsible journalism, but also because it's mature and kind. And Like, for instance, like when I spoke to Kamala Harris, right? I spoke to her in a mature, kind fashion. I was respectful and kind because I was raised right. But but if I'm being honest, I misrepresented how we spoke to each other in the video that people keep showing because I was so frustrated and angry about how people were talking about me. And that's my fault. That's my fault. I gave them that representation to use. It's my fault.
Yeah.
And I can't expect people to treat me with humanity and say like, well, she's clearly upset. So like, let's get a better, like, I can't expect that because that's just not the culture we're in. And people don't even treat themselves with that humanity. So I am working to shift my own behavior. I also acknowledge that we have to shift culture to reach for something better. And I understand the role that I play in giving the ammunition to carry this type of behavior forward. And, you know, it's not that I was being emotional. That's the problem. I think we should be allowed to be that. But it's because I was doing the same thing that they're doing, where I'm just saying things and responding. And it's just not responsible. And I feel like as a person with the level of knowledge and love that I have to not just be responsible, but I have to have integrity. And I cannot be doing that to anybody and not wanting it done to me. So today is the day that you hear me say, moving forward, we will reach out to people and say, hey, can we give you a platform to speak for yourself instead of just commenting? Because there's just too much commentary and not enough common sense. There's too much commentary and not enough compassion. And it doesn't help us. It doesn't advance us. It doesn't do anything to build the community that we need. And so I ask moving forward that people who are not going to extend that to me, keep my name out of your mouth. We are not operating from the same space. Now, whether we're on the same intellectual level is up for discussion, but we are clearly not on the same integrity level. And I want the Amanda Seales Show and any space I'm in to be that. And there are some people that are not going to support that simply because they have decided that not listening to me in an honest way is serving some confirmation bias that they need to like bolster their identity. And I can't speak to those people. But I'm speaking in this space to say that I want to be different. They say if you can't beat them, join them. I'm leaving them. Y'all can have it. And just listen to my actions, not just my words, because we opened the space to invite people to come and speak who have been speaking about me, and not a single person took up the invitation. I would like to genuinely ask that I no longer be utilized as a scapegoat to push whatever messaging you feel is valuable to you, because it is harmful to me. And as a Black woman who has always stood for Black people, to do so in the name of Black power, it's wildly disingenuous, and it speaks to the fact that you really aren't about empowering us at all. We are.